What NASCAR driver is the most likely to wreck you for the win? I'm gonna go through the field and just rank every single driver on how likely I think they would be to wreck me. And I think I found a tier list here that has every single Cup driver in the field. And some of these I don't even know. Like, I don't know who 44 even is. And the first driver we're gonna rate is Kyle Busch. And this is kind of a tricky first one. I think in 2024, 2025, this answer becomes a lot different than back in like 2012. He hasn't won in a while, which makes me think he might be a little more desperate. His yearly win streak is kind of already over. I feel like there were some situations last year where he could have maybe done something to try to win, like maybe it was Darlington just off the top of my head. But I don't think he tried anything, and I think he's very aware of what equipment he's in. I'm gonna say there's a slim chance Kyle Busch in 2025 would wreck you for the win. Now let's just jump to his teammate Austin Dillon. Luckily for Austin Dillon, we don't really have to guess what he would do if he's trying to win a race. We've seen it at Richmond where he wrecked Joey Logano, and then he wrecked Denny Hamlin. So bro got the 2-for-1. I know he would wreck people for the win, absolutely 100% of the time. And even the 2018 Daytona 500. I don't know if there was like a definitive angle of that finish, but I believe he wrecked Almirola to try to win the Daytona 500. The Daytona 500 a little more understandable, but bro, at Richmond wrecking 2 people for a win on the last lap, yeah, absolutely he would. Now I'm gonna go to a driver who's in a new ride in the Cup Series, Chase Briscoe. I feel like Chase Briscoe has pretty good racing etiquette. He's never really struck me as a driver who would wreck you for the win. Oh, but you know what? Wasn't he in an incident at Bristol Dirt a few years ago? I forget how that went down, but it was like Reddick or Kyle Busch or something. I'm gonna say there's a 50-50 chance. And then we got Austin Cindric, and when he first got into NASCAR, I recall in the Xfinity series, he had a couple run-ins on a couple situations where yes, he did go ahead and wreck people like on road courses. Again, we haven't seen Cindric in a lot of these situations where he's in second place on the last lap, so it's really hard to tell what he would do. I'm gonna say 50-50. Then I'm gonna jump to Alex Bowman here. Maybe it was last year at Darlington. I remember him and Suarez got into something. So I know Bowman has like an aggressive nature to him, and I'm leaning towards he would try a bump and run at least. I really have no evidence to back that up, but I'm just gonna go bump and run at least. That's my first impression. Next, I'm gonna just choose the 66. I have no idea who this guy is. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't know who drives this car. I need to see. 66. Let's see. Okay. It says this is a part-time car with 5 drivers. I'm just not gonna rank this guy. And you know what? I'm gonna make a new row. It's gonna be gray. It's gonna be called I'm not ranking them. So that's where the 66 will go since he's part-time and there's like, it's a shared spot between 5 drivers. I think we have a few other part-timers in here, like maybe the 62, 78. I'm feeling like going to Ty Gibbs next. In Xfinity, I would say absolutely he would wreck you for the win. There's been multiple instances of it. And since he hasn't won in Cup yet, I'm leaning towards yes, he would definitely wreck me. There's just a few drivers that are like in that category, like with Austin Dillon. And I'm just gonna put the next guy in here because I know he would be up there, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Like there's a reason this guy's nickname is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Absolutely he would wreck me. Not even just for the win. He would wreck me for any position, I feel like. Especially at restrictor plates, I like recall him causing a lot of wrecks. So that's why I'm definitely thinking he's gonna wreck me on the last lap. And let's go to Chris Buescher here. I feel like Chris Buescher is a pretty conservative driver, and I think more often than not, he's gonna just let me win the race. Like maybe I'm wrong on that, but I recall him being pretty clean when racing for the lead. He was doing that last year at Darlington, I wanna say with Reddick, and then got really mad at Reddick or something. So if he's wanting that type of respect, I feel like he would give that back to me on the last lap, so that's why I'm putting him in green. And then let's go Josh Berry. Josh Berry hasn't won a Cup race. It's really tough to say what he would do, and honestly in this 21 car, I don't think he's gonna get a chance to win a Cup race. So he's a little unpredictable, but I also don't think we're gonna have to worry about it. I'm gonna say slim chance. I think we can jump into Tyler Reddick after Buescher. Reddick, I'm leaning more towards like he'll go all out for the win. We saw that with Buescher, as I just said, so I'm gonna say at least a bump and run. I think that's a pretty safe pick. We still got a lot of wreckers on the board, like down here, like Chastain, Logano. We got Chase Elliott too, Denny Hamlin. Next, we're going Noah Gragson, the guy who Ty Gibbs battled all the time in Xfinity. I think if he's in a spot where he's second place on the last lap, very strong chance he's gonna try to do something. At least door slam, maybe dive bomb, maybe bump and run for the win. I'm almost leaning towards definitely wrecking me. I don't know if he would straight up wreck me. I think I know he would at least try something. Next, we got the 35 of Riley Herbst. I don't know too much about this driver. I know that it's his first season in Cup, and obviously he's on 2311 Racing. I don't think his equipment's gonna be too crazy good this year, and I don't think he's gonna get a chance to really win a race. But just for my lack of knowledge on like this guy's tendencies, I'm gonna say 50-50. This number 10 has been eyeing me. It's like a golf ball. Is this AJ Allmendinger?
After reviewing the plate, the ruling on the field is changed.
This is, I guess, apparently this is Ty Dillon. So we put his brother Austin in the top spot, definitely wrecking me. I don't think Ty Dillon would go that crazy. I think he shares some of the driving tendencies as Austin Dillon though. So I think bump and run at least is a safe pick. Let's go for a heavy hitter here. Let's do Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson, here's a guy who's just gonna try to win every race possible, kind of no matter what. Maybe he's done some things in the past that, you know, not straight up wrecking anyone, so to say, but he's just a guy who's gonna do all he can to get a win. I'm gonna say Kyle Larson, he's definitely gonna bump and run at very least. Got Jimmy Johnson up here too. I know he's a part-time driver, but I know there's a lot of Johnson fans out there. So I think I'm gonna rank him on this list somewhere, and Johnson's always come across to me as a really clean driver. I don't think he would straight up let me win. I'm gonna have to have made him mad earlier in the season for him to wanna wreck me. And Joey Logano, we don't have to guess for Joey Logano. I think back in 2015, he was wrecking people, and even to this day, I think he still would. He wrecked my guy Carl Edwards for a championship, and everyone in the comments is gonna say Carl blocked, which yeah, he did okay, but like Logano's gonna go after it. 9 times out of 10, he is going to wreck me for the win. So I guess now that I know this 16 is AJ Allmendinger, this is a guy in the field that I just wanna see him succeed. I wanna see him win races. He's a very experienced driver. I think he's just gonna race me really clean. How about William Byron?
Whose racing career started on a computer?
I've actually raced with William Byron on iRacing before, and he was a clean racer. I think if William Byron's gonna do anything dirty, it's gonna come from iRacing and not real life. So I'm gonna say there's a very slim chance Byron is gonna wreck me. If you recall at Darlington, wasn't there something with him and Logano? See, this is what I'm saying about Logano. Logano wrecked William Byron for the win. So this slim chance comes from like, if I'm Logano a few races later, if I made William Byron mad and now he wants to get back at me. Yeah, that's such a Logano thing to do. I feel pretty good about where I rated him now. Next will be this 38 of Zane Smith. Once again, I don't really think we're gonna have to worry about him wrecking anyone for the win, but I also don't know his tendencies that well. I'm gonna also say a slim chance for him. And this mystery driver has been bugging me the whole time. I don't know who is in this 44. JJ Yaley. We do not need to worry about bro winning a race at all. But we've also got Shane Van Gisbergen. I gotta say, this is probably gonna be one of my favorite drivers in 2025. I love the fact that this guy just straight up won his first NASCAR race ever. Now he's full-time in the Cup Series. I'm a big fan. And last year, he had a crazy finish, like just a crazy battle with another guy for a win at Watkins Glen. That is some good NASCAR racing. Big fan of SVG. Now I'm second guessing this letting me win category because I know SVG is gonna put up a fight, but I know he's not gonna wreck me for the win. Ryan Blaney. I know he's not gonna do anything too crazy. He has a pretty good track record of racing clean. Slim chance he's gonna pull something for the win. Now we got Eric Jones. I've always felt like Eric Jones was a little bit underrated. I know Joe Gibbs Racing has like a crazy driver lineup right now, but I feel like they should have given Eric Jones like a little more time. Pretty big Eric Jones guy. I'm gonna say there's also a slim chance he'd wreck me. Let's look at something in the 70s here. There's a few drivers. 77, is this Hocevar? Carson Hocevar is a young driver without a Cup win. I think if he was in a situation to do something, I'm pretty sure he would. I'm confident in saying at least a bump and run. And then we got Cole Custer in the 41. Again, I don't really think there's stuff he's done that would make me think he would wreck me. Also a slim chance for Cole Custer. And then we got Ryan Preece, another driver who I think is pretty underrated. I believe he did some open wheel stuff in maybe the modified series, but I'm pretty sure he would race me clean on the last lap. I don't think he would wreck me. The board is shaping up, but we still got some interesting drivers like Chase Elliott, Hamlin, got Keselowski on here. Let's work our way up there. Let's go Bubba Wallace next. I'm pretty sure if you put Bubba Wallace in second place, within arm's reach on the last lap, he's gonna try something. He wants to win bad, and I can tell. Next, let's go to the 20 of Christopher Bell. When I think of Christopher Bell, I think of a pretty clean racer. However, he's in top equipment. I know he battles with the leaders for wins from time to time. I do think there's a 50-50 chance. I think it's more of like a 40% chance he would, but maybe if he's provoked or has a reason to wreck someone, then obviously I think he'd be more inclined to get back out of driver. And then we got his teammate Denny Hamlin, which I'm already leaning towards one of these top 2 spots. I already know if he's battling Chastain, Chastain's going in the wall. We've seen that. But especially as his career progressed, the racing got closer. I think he's definitely getting into an era where he just doesn't care anymore. So yeah, I think he's definitely wrecking me. This 51 car is apparently Cody Ware. Genuinely, I don't think we're gonna have to worry about this guy winning races. And I kind of feel awful saying that, but it's just the truth. Like, this is usually a last place car. Although when Justin Haley was in this car last year, this car ran pretty well, but not really in any position to win a race. So I'm gonna say 50-50 if he's in that opportunity. And then we have the 7, who is not Corey LaJoie anymore. This is Justin Haley. Haley, in my eyes, is a pretty clean driver. He has one cup win already. Didn't have to race Stewart to get it, but it was, I believe, range shortened. Hard to really say what this guy would do in a winning scenario, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna race me clean. But someone who I know will not race me clean is Ross Chastain. He's kind of in that category with Hamlin, Logano, Stenhouse. You can kind of just tell based on how drivers have raced in the past. So that one's pretty easy. John Hunter Nemechek. There's one specific incident I recall. I think it happened in the Truck Series 2016 with Cole Custer, where Nemechek just straight up wrecked Cole Custer. Now, that was almost a decade ago. Have things changed since then? I'm pretty confident in saying he would try to bump me out of the way. But what about Daniel Suarez? Daniel Suarez, he's been in a fight before, in qualifying of all things, with Michael McDowell, who's also still on the board. But there's never been anything crazy with him and for the win. Hard to say what he would do. I'm gonna say there's a slim chance Daniel Suarez would wreck me. And since we were just talking about him, Michael McDowell. Wait a minute, wait. I'm so used to this being Michael McDowell. This is not Michael McDowell. This is now Todd Gilliland. Would he wreck me? I'm leaning between 50% chance or slim chance. Let's just say 50-50. And then we'll go to the actual Michael McDowell in the 71. That'll take some time to get used to. McDowell, would he do something crazy? I think there's a slim chance, but I'm also not sure he's much different from Todd Gilliland. I want to put him in the 50-50 category for that reason. And then we got Brad Keselowski. Oh, I promise this was not intentional. Okay, well, we're gonna do Chase Elliott first. I know all the Chase Elliott fans have been waiting, and I don't think they're gonna be too happy with my ranking. I'm pretty sure Chase Elliott would bump and run me. He's gotten into things with drivers in the past, like Denny Hamlin. I recall a time a few years back where it was like Daytona, the Coke 0400 maybe, and I think he wrecked Matt DiBenedetto. But he's not just gonna roll over. I'm pretty confident he would give you a bump and run or a door slam. And just for the record, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like my favorite driver, Carl Edwards, my favorite driver of all time, he did that to Harvick at Phoenix. Like, that's not a bad thing. I want to see people bump and run people for the win. It's just when it gets to this top category where it's like, okay, man, are we gonna really spin out 2 drivers to win a race? And then last but not least, we have Brad Keselowski. Things have really chilled out with Keselowski. He's not as aggressive, and he's honestly not up front as much as he used to be. I'm gonna say he's pretty unpredictable nowadays. It's gonna be a 50-50 for me. And guys, if I botched any of these rankings, comment below telling me who it is. And if you love to play NASCAR Fantasy, I made a Raw Gator League, and you can join it with the top link in the description. I'm gonna be filling out my picks every week, and I wanna see if anyone can beat me. Thanks for tuning into this video. I'll catch you in a new one very soon.